Hello everyone and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Today I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough of Too Many Bones using Ghillie against the Goblin King. This is going to be fun. If you want to see how to set up the video, feel free to check out the video before this on the playlist. Otherwise, just a quick note, if you want to see a solo playthrough with Patches, check out Rolling Solo. He's got a solo playthrough with Patches. If you want to check out a solo playthrough with Nugget, Ricky Royal has an amazing playthrough as well of solo play with Nugget. And each one of those are going against a different boss as well. So I'm trying to do a different tyrant, the Goblin King. So hopefully that'll give you another new experience to watch. Let's jump in. The first question a Gearlock may ask is, well, how do we adventure? Well, first thing that we'll do is we'll have a new day and we turn the day counter. We'll turn this day counter to 1. There's no 0, so we'll just start it at 1. From the new day, we move to the new encounter, draw encounter, and then resolve and figure out if we succeed or fail. Here we have our encounter deck. We'll draw the top card, and this, like I had said before in the setup video, these first 3 are always the same, so I already know what's going to happen. But let's enjoy it. Leaving Obendar. Only 12 hours till dawn, and the send-off ceremony that will no doubt change the lives of every remaining Gearlock, and likely every life in Daylor. Weapons and supplies are ready to go, but the night is young and adrenaline fills the veins. It's clear no sleep will be had tonight. There's sure to be some shady peddlers in dark alleys ready to deal in loot. Then again, some last-minute training could pay a nice dividend by morning. So what to do, what to do. After you've read the encounter, you'll flip the card over to the opposite side to see your choices. On the upper left-hand side of the card, you can see here and here are our 2 different choices, and this icon means that both of them are non-battle choices, so we don't have to worry about fighting. We can either squeeze in some last-minute self-improvement and gain 2 training points, and that's what that means up here on the top. Or we could shake down a shady peddler, gain 1 training point, and each party member may draw 2 loot and choose 1 to keep. Which way to start? For Ghillie, I think what's most important is some training points, so we're going to go ahead and do option number 1, gain 2 training points. I just wanted to show you this. On each of the player mats, they have a beginner build strategy here that they'll tell you about what stats to upgrade first and skills to upgrade first. I'm going to kind of follow this and kind of not, but mostly I'm going to be following this because I'm still somewhat new to Ghillie. Ghillie's first training point I'm going to use for defense. Now normally to upgrade defense, what you have to do is you have to roll all of your defense dice that equals the amount that you're at. So let's say I had 2 as a defense, I would roll 2 defense dice. If, when I rolled those 2 defense dice, if when I rolled them, any of them showed a bone, I would re-roll any of the bone ones once. And if any of them still showed bones after being re-rolled once, then I failed at updating defense and I have to update something else. Here's the thing. Ghillie's at 0 defense, so I roll 0 dice and automatically succeed. So I'm going to go ahead and place a 1 here. So now I have 1 defense die available to me to roll. My second training point is going to be to get the Call Wolverine. This is going to be a 6-sided die that I can roll using my dexterity, and it can become a companion. Now, each one of Ghillie's companions has a special ability, but I first want to show you the die in detail. This Wolverine has 6 different sides, 2 sides that are bones, so those are fails, and you can either decide to put them in your backup plan or just re-roll them next time. Or there are sides that look like this, or a side that looks like, oh come on, where are you? Here you are, like this. So this side tells you that the Wolverine has 3 health and can attack for 1. However, if you roll this side, you only have 2 health, can attack for 1, and to keep the Wolverine out, we have to spend 1 dexterity. That's what this means. So when we roll this die, it's going to kind of depend upon what comes out, what we're going to have as an ally. Each one of Ghillie's companions has a special ability. The Wolverine has Hardy. Now what does Hardy mean? Well, that's where we're going to have to look at that reference sheet. Hardy says, any turn this unit takes damage to its HP, including true damage, total is reduced by 1. So we have a Hardy Wolverine on our side. That is going to be helpful. We've completed our 2 training points, our defense die, and our Call Wolverine skill. Once we've completed this, we now look at the bottom side of this and we see if we've received any progress. And we have. We've received 1 progress. So we'll show that on the map that we have. So here's that beautiful map, and here's Obendar. We now can move the party 1 space towards that Goblin King. We only have 7 more that we have to complete in order to catch up to him. So we've completed the encounter. We were successful? Yes. With these ones, you're automatically successful. So we come over here, we divide spoils and apply training points and log our progress. We just did that. Now we move to the recovery stage. We can either do some lock picking, some loot trading, or any individual options. Well, lock picking, we don't have anything to lock. Loot trading, we don't have any loot to begin with. And then individual options, I'll show you what those are. So here's the individual options. We can either rest and recover and heal to HP to full, but we're already at full. We haven't done anything to our HP. So we could search for better loot by discarding 1 loot, roll 6 attack dice, and for each bone you roll, reveal a loot card, and you can keep 1. Can't do that either because we don't have any loot. So the only thing we can do is scout the area. We're going to roll a d6. On a 1 through 3, we can reveal a 1-point baddie. On a 4 through 5, we can reveal a 5-point baddie. And on a 6, we can reveal a 20-point. And it's up to. So you don't have to do that level, but you can. And then once revealed, you may cycle the baddie to the bottom of the active stack if you would like. This is where that general d6 comes in handy. So let's see what we get. We get a 1. Okay, that means we can see a level 1 baddie. Well, the first one that we see is a bog frog. Now, if you look over here, he doesn't have any attack or defense. So he doesn't attack or have any defense dice. But he poisons by 2. And he has 4 health, initiative 3. He's a melee, and he's a bog enemy. I'm going to put him to the bottom of the stack. Poison is terrible for me. I would die very quickly. I have nothing to stop poison. So I'm going to throw him to the bottom of the stack. So now we've finished recovery, and we're going to go back to a new day and move the turn day counter. We'll turn this to day 2. Here's our next encounter, hardly out of the gate. 15 steps into the journey. 15 steps! And already a gearlock boot is struck through by an arrow. Luckily, no toes were killed. Teeth were clenched and a painful tug is made while looking around in embarrassment. Yow! Now, sufficiently ticked, it's time to return the favor to the ominous figures at the edge of the woods. A commotion breaks out atop the city wall, interrupting all thoughts. Guards have now spotted the brazen intruders and are notching their arrows. Their help is at the ready. Like it or not, this adventure is underway. We have 2 options here. We can either hail the guards, and at the start of each round, arrows from the wall deal 1 true damage to each baddie, and that is recommended for first adventurers. Or it's time to show Obendar what gearlocks are made of. And with Obendar watching, you feel an extra shot of adrenaline as you prepare for an unassisted battle. But if we do it unassisted, we get an additional training point. We for sure get 1 training point and 1 loot and 1 progress if we complete this encounter. This will just give us an extra training point. And that extra training point is way too juicy for me to pass up on. So I think we're going to go unassisted here. Normally, we would just count up our baddie points and then reveal the baddies that we needed to put on the board. But since we're playing with Ghillie, he has the innate ability of Scout. Before battle, reveal a baddie in its active stack. You may cycle it to the bottom of the stack. We're going to do that first. Since we're only at day 2, we know that both of our enemies are going to come from the level 1 stack. So let's just reveal what's on here. Are you serious? It's another bog frog. We don't want to deal with another bog frog. Wow, that would have been terrible if we had 2 bog frogs. So I'm going to cycle this to the bottom of this active stack. And now we'll draw 2 level 1 enemies for our battle queue. Our first baddie is a bog pole. Okay, so it's like a bog frog but smaller. It has a poison 1 effect. It will poison the 2 weakest players, and it is ranged. So it's going to go into this spot. We need to have 3 health. Plus, we'll put this 1 here to show that it started in row 1, and it connects with this initiative die. And since it's a 3, we'll place its initiative as 3 in the any track. Our second enemy is, oh my gosh, a clay golem. Nothing like starting off hard here. So this clay golem has the break effect. That means that any attack dice that are used on this golem are exhausted. So normally you can roll attack dice over and over again. Any attack dice used on him are exhausted. And he has 5 health. So we'll go ahead and put 5 health underneath him. And he's number 2. So he'll go here. He is melee, so he'll have to be in this spot. And his initiative is 2. If I can find the number 2 on this die. Here we go. So then we'll place that in the ini meter. Now I get to roll my initiative die to determine where I'm going to be in the ini meter. And I roll a 4. Since I rolled the highest of all of the players on this battle mat, I get to go first of the 3 that are on the board. I then get to place myself anywhere on here that I would like. And I think I'm going to go right here. Oh boy, we're going to see how this works. Let's start battle, you guys. So this tells us what round we're in. We're in round 1. And since I am first on the initiative track, I'll move this up and say I am the first one to go. Since I have a dexterity of 3, I'm going to be able to roll up to 3 dice as long as I don't want to move. And I don't want to move. So I'm going to roll 2 attack dice and my Wolverine die. I now need to decide who I'm going to attack. Am I going to attack the clay golem, who is going to essentially break my attack dice? Or am I going to attack the bog pole? I think it's a no-brainer. I'm going to attack the bog pole first. Here we go. Let's see what we get. Oh! Okay. So we rolled a 2 and a 1, which is great. That means that we did 3 points of damage. However, our Wolverine failed. And we're not going to use it as a bone. We're going to put it back on our skill sheet to roll that again next time. And instead, we're just going to use the 3 points of damage. That bog pole only had 3 health. So we can say sayonara. We don't have to worry about anybody getting poisoned. We also will take his die off the ini meter. Now, if there are any other enemies in the battle queue, next round they would spawn there, but we don't have any in the battle queue, so we're okay. Next to go is that clay golem, and I wasn't thinking straight. I should have moved and started off way over here, but I was thinking I was going to have my Wolverine, so I wasn't that worried. But I failed to roll my Wolverine right. So, the stone golem's going to go. He can move up to 2 spaces. He'll move 1, 2, and he'll go here, and then he will attack me. That clay golem simply rolls 1 attack die. A bone here would be really nice. Or 1 point of damage. We'll lose 1 of our health, and we're now only at 3 health compared to this clay golem who's at 4. Or 5, actually. We'll now move to round 2, and it's back to my turn. I'm going to use one of my 3 dexterity to move here. Then, for my next 2 dexterity, I'm going to roll 1 defense die and my Wolverine. Here's to hoping we actually roll our Wolverine this time. Yes, there he is. First, I rolled a bone with my defense die, so I can place it here, and now I could use my switch targets effect. It's not helpful right now, so I'm just going to leave this bone in, hoping that I can move up this track. Next, I'm going to summon my Wolverine. Now, this might seem kind of weird, but I'm going to put my Wolverine right here. He's got 2 health, 1 attack, and I have to use 1 dexterity to keep him going. I put him over here because I want this clay golem to attack me 1 more time, so he'll move here and attack me. Then, next time, this Wolverine who has 2 health can come here and we can double team him next time. If I put the Wolverine here, the clay golem would hit him and he'd only get really 1 turn to attack before he's dead. This way, he'll get 2. Next is that clay golem. So the clay golem could go up here or here, and I'm going to choose here. And now he's going to attack me with 1 attack die. He's obviously going to roll a bone, right? Oh, yes! That means he totally missed. Heck yeah. Let's move to round 3. And I am the first one to go. All of Ghillie's companions act just before his turn. That's why last turn I couldn't move the Wolverine. This time, I'm going to use one of my decks so that the Wolverine stays out. Then the Wolverine can move up to 2 spaces. So he'll move here, and he automatically attacks and takes 1 off of this clay golem. Now, you would think, oh, well, that would break his attack die. Well, he doesn't roll an attack die. It's an automatic 1 attack. So I don't have to worry about the Wolverine losing his attack. And now it is going to be my turn, and I'm going to roll 2 attack, and that's it, since my other dexterity was used to keep the Wolverine out. We're looking for 2 2s here. Or 2 points, that's still good. Now, these 2 attack dice are exhausted. I can no longer attack the clay golem. I'm going to have to count on my Wolverine to do that. You can place exhausted dice right over here. That clay golem was hit for 2. So that means he only has two more health left. So now I've got to hope my Wolverine can take him out. It's now the clay golem's turn, and he can attack either one of us, but he can only attack one based on his attack information here. So he attacks the strongest of the two. Well, I have 3 health, and my Wolverine only has 2 health. So he's going to attack me. 1 attack die. He missed me last time. Let's see what he does this time. Yeah, he hits me this time. That's going to knock me down to 2 health. Ouch. Now we're on to round 4. Jeez. This is just flying. All right, and it's our turn first. I'm going to spend 1 dexterity to keep my Wolverine out, who will then automatically do 1 point of damage to that clay golem. Then I'm going to use the other 2 dexterity to roll 1 defense die and move myself 1 over here. Now you might be asking, why am I rolling a defense die? Well, I'm hoping for a bone here. I'm hoping to miss, because then if I can get 2 misses, I can maybe get my fortunate discovery. Because at this point, I know I'm going to win this battle. I just want to see if I can get my fortunate discovery and get one of my consumables. So, looking for a bone, looking for a bone. It's not a bone. That defense die will go right here in the active slot. Now it's the clay golem's turn, and although he wants to attack the strongest, he's adjacent to this Wolverine. So he's going to attack the Wolverine and leave me alone. Let's see what he gets. And he hits the Wolverine for 1. The Wolverine now only has 1 health left. Let's move to round 5. If I can find that number. There it is. Alright, then it's our turn. We'll use 1 dex to keep out our Wolverine, and he'll just defeat this clay golem. And that will be the end of this specific encounter. If we had any sort of ability in the backup plan we want to use, we'd have to use it now. But my switch target ability lets me just simply say I'm going to attack a different person after I say I attacked 1. Can't use it. And anything in our active slot is reset. Completing this encounter is great, though. We're going to get 2 training points, a loot, and 1 progress. Our second progress, we get to move all the way up to here. Only 6 more to get to that Goblin King. Let's also not forget to grab our loot. Oh, sweet. Mixed berries. Heal yourself for 3 HP in battle or 5 HP out of battle. And unless it says differently, you always have to use loot on your turn. But that is awesome. That means I'll be able to heal during a fight, which really is what Ghillie can't do very well. Our first training point we're going to use for Piercing Arrow. That's going to let us get through any of those thick skin or shield enemies. And I think we're going to try and increase our attack as well. So how we're going to have to do that is we're going to have to roll 2 attack dice. If we don't roll any bones, it's successful. Here we go. We're looking for no bones. Yes, no bones. That means we were successful. We'll place a 1 right here. Nice. For our recovery phase, we could go and scout, but we're only at 2 health. So I'm just going to heal to full, and that's going to end day 2.